Okay, hello. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Are you guys still in a good spirit? Yes? Yes or no? Okay, so hello, everyone. My name is Debora Imanuella. You guys can call me Deb. So it is an honor for me to be part of as Singapore and be with you here today. And today, the last topic, and also very interesting, of course, we are going to talk about what's more about, like what's happening in esports industry when it comes to organizing events, because it's the core of everything. It's the excitement, right? So how can we see more into what's going to happen in the future as well? So in this panel, we have 4 speakers, including me. So it's become 5. So coming from different part of the world, and they will share their experiences and also vision about the topic, event esports augmented. So before we started, I'm gonna let you guys introduce yourself, because who's better when it comes to introduce themselves, right? So, okay, maybe Timo, you can introduce yourself first.
Thank you and good day. And first of all, thank you very much for the invitation here and the really great event. Good job, Sam. My name is Timo, working for Nielsen Sports since now 7 years, and you might heard about Nielsen when it comes to TV viewership numbers. So to make it short, when the Super Bowl is happening in America, the global TV viewership numbers are provided by Nielsen. Within Nielsen, we have around about a team who's taking care of sports and esports, over 1,000 people globally. What we are doing, we are trying to help brands to make the right decisions and provide the right data. So when it comes to commercial decisions, sponsorships, we're trying to help and understand sponsorship in detail, providing viewership data, media values. We heard about that in other sessions. But we're also using market research and other social tools to provide the best data so our clients can make better decisions in the future. Doing that in sports, but also in esports.
Okay, Bobo, you can go next.
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Bobo. So I'm actually an executive director and also co-founder of Team 2 marketing agency. And we also own an esports platform called Next Level Entertainment, and we are from Cambodia. So actually in Cambodia, we are the content creator and also marketer for a lot of brands. We're working with a lot of big clients in Cambodia. Is one of the big telco is Smarta. We're also working with Sting Energy Drink, which is they are the #1 soft drink in Cambodia, and the PepsiCo. And we're working with KFC, and also Mobile Legends is also our client. And for Team 2 itself, we actually have clients who actually connecting to brand, connecting to team, esports team. And we also own a platform, Next Level earlier. So we're reaching out, we're creating esports content with the young and passionate team. We're actually reaching to more than 2 million users. And we also having more than 15 million viewership in the last 28 days. That also saying to MSC happening in Cambodia. So we have a lot of actually number and having a lot of fans, not just in Cambodia, but also fans from all across country, Philippines, Indonesia. So actually checking out the content from our site. If you're curious about us, just check out Next Level on TikTok and on Facebook. Yeah.
Hello guys. My name is Irliansyah, and I'm the co-founder and also the Chief Growth Officer for RevivaLTV. It's one of the biggest esports media in Indonesia. We started back in 2008 as a community, and then we evolved into more media, esports, event organizers, and also the talent agencies. So we work pretty much with all the major brands in Indonesia, with more than 450 companies are already working together with us, including the biggest names like Telkomsel, Muntun, Indosat, Axis 3, banks, and many more. We mainly focus on creating the solutions for the brands and also for the audiences to tap into the esports market and the esports audiences all across the Indonesian market. From small community events to big events like MPL. We handle all that. And fun fact is, we are the one that are creating the first season of MPL together with Munsun.
Okay, Danny.
Hi, everyone. I'm Danny Tom from VSPO. We're an esports organizer as well as what we call ourselves a total esports solution provider based out of China. And I'm the co-founder, being the CFO from day one. We just started our head of global strategy office. And we're based in Shanghai, and now we're dual headquartered in Shanghai and Singapore. So what we do is, you might know us from the likes of Honor of Kings Pro League, or KPLs in China, or Peacekeeper Elite PELs in China. So we do tournament organizations, we do commercialization, and we're also one of the largest esports and gaming related MC and / talent manager in China as well. Happy to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
All right, thank you so much. That's a very comprehensive introduction, right? So maybe some of you already know UniPin, maybe some of you don't. So UniPin is a digital entertainment payment enabler, and we are available in more than 30 countries across the globe. And as for me, I am running the esports and community department, and I have the unwavering passion for youth and also women empowerment. So yeah, come to the first question. So esports events have undergone significant changes in the past few years, right? There are so many, different changes, from a tournament in a cyber cafe, right? To a stadium, to a huge, huge places, huge, everything. So what's gonna happen right now, since COVID is already passed, right? Because esports event, they don't really necessarily have the easiest time going back to online only, right? So now we see more offline things happening everywhere, every part of the world. And then this means more in-person tournaments too, right? So with some of the larger scale than before, how can organizers in APAC leverage new trends and tools to engage to a wider audience? Maybe we can start from Danny.
Sure. So when we think about esports, when we started VSPO about 7, 8 years ago, we started with the belief that esports is going to be the future of sports. It's going to be one of the experiences, just like traditional sports, just like movie and music, something that brings us together. And the unique thing about esports is that it is something that happens both virtually online and also offline as well. So the offline component becomes even more important today in the post-pandemic world, given that we're just coming out of a period of COVID and also of separation. We're actually seeing people more separated from each other than connected like before because of what's happened, both politically and also of what happened with the pandemic. So I think the importance of esports as a connector to bring people together to create shared experiences cannot be emphasized more. So as an organizer at VSPO, what we really want to do and what we want to continue to improve is to create better experiences for our offline attendance through new technologies. I mean, we've been using a lot of AI, we've been using a lot of augmented reality, we've been using a lot of, the XR component of our show as well. Everything that we're working on, both from a technology front as well as from an experience design front, is to create moments that people will come and they can share with their friends and family. Like, we want to create moments that people come to a VSPO event and they go, okay, this is great. Next time I'm gonna try to bring my mom or my friend or my kids. So there is that online nature of that, but there's a lot of the touch and feel pieces that we've been missing because of the pandemic that we're trying to pick back up.
I see, okay. So yeah, Danny mentioned about AI. AI is a huge thing right now, right? So Irli, in your opinion, you are the one who, initiated the MPL, right? And then now it's huge as ever, right? So what do you think? What's the take of esports organizer to be, create a more engaged, wider audience?
Yeah, I totally agree with her when you say it's important for us, for the organizers, to improve our experience on the offline events, because the demand are already shifting from, it used to be the online platform and then it moved to the offline platform. And thanks to COVID, more and more people are adapting to the internet, right? More and more people adapt, especially in countries like Indonesia. We are having extra 20% of people adapting to the smartphone than before the COVID. So knowing that, the importance of the new technology like AI to get process the big data about the esports thing, making using like something like 5G, because in Indonesia it's a bit rare for that. Like using the 5G to create let's say an experience like a gamification inside the event itself, and also knowing that esports becoming more in we are embracing esports culture and lifestyle into our like a general lifestyle. It's easier for us to create an event that are using this kind of like gaming terms and stuff like that. For example, in the events, we have this experience for someone to role play inside the event itself. It's something. It's becoming more common and acceptable by the audiences. So yeah, I totally agree with that.
Okay, Bobo, any additional thing, or are you agreed with both of them?
I think to me, I just add a bit. So I actually agree with both of them in terms of creating engaging offline activity. Plus that for us to actually reaching to more wider audience, we also can collab and working with a lot of media, influencer, KOL for them to come in for the event. And they actually can have spread out to not just to esports audience, but to different type of industry of audience that actually can get them to come in and check out the event. And another important is creating content. Content is key. I think during the offline event, whatever we actually having, we also have to creating constant content, get it out and get people to actually interested in and come and check out the event. So that is it.
Okay, Timo.
Yeah, maybe just one last comment from a more commercial perspective. That's all technology, I think, and what you can bring to the people. In the end, I think the fans want to get benefits, why they should travel all the way to a specific event. And I think it's time now where brands getting more and more into esports, and I think you guys can challenge the brands that they create like an additional benefit on site to give them special moments. And I think there are big brands out there who are already in, but when I've seen a couple of events now, especially Germany, Europe, and so on, but what's personally missing for me, I think there's so much potential to engage with this really interested fan group. And these people, esports fans, they are very, very open for sponsorships. They understand that the whole ecosystem needs sponsors. So why not going a step further and creating a special experience on site? So I think that's more from a commercial side, but I think that's what I would demand as a fan when I go to esports events.
That's very interesting, Timo. Okay, so maybe I want to share what I have experienced coming to different esports events. So when I see like lots of sponsorship booth, like some sponsorship booth has very engaging, exciting activities in their booth, but there are lots of brands who's super boring. Like I don't even bother to look at the booth and try what's inside the booth because it's not exciting. So. As an organizer, like you're mentioning, right, it's so important for a brand to participate and then creating something. Like as an organizer, like what do you do differently in order for you to ensure the brand? Like, do you give like suggestion, or do you like suggest something like things that they need to do in order for them to create something? Because if their booth is empty, they will come to you and they will complain, right? Oh my God, your event is not successful because I don't get any visitor. But it cannot be like completely blame on you, right? So what do you think about this? Maybe Danny, you have something to say?
Okay, so for me, it's about the organizer giving the right knowledge to the brands about the community that are being invited to the events. Because as we all know, that esports are coming from the community. And it's not only just one community that are love gaming. For example, like gamers that love playing a game like Dota, totally different communities than people like playing, for example, like Mobile Legends. Maybe they're intersect in some point, but most of the times it's totally different market. So the idea is for us as the organizers is to understand what kind of brand that they want to, what kind of a target market that the brand wants to achieve, and suits the right community and the right market for them. We cannot just say it's like, okay, so this brand is more into a luxury part of the, like, let's say cars and stuff like that. And then we propose to them like games that are having more into like B or C market. It's totally different. The way we promote, the way we can create the activity on the event is also different. And it's also the responsibility for us, for us as the organizers, to give like a hint or give a clues or maybe give a suggestion for the brands, like what kind of activities that will be suitable for this kind of audience that are coming to the events.
Okay, so giving more information to the brands is very important in order for them to cater to what audience need, right? Maybe any additional from Danny or maybe Bobo about this?
Yeah, so I think to educate client is very important, and we also have to actually working with client closely on what kind of audience they want to engage. And example in Cambodia during the event and tournament, we actually working with client closely, and we also creating a lot of engaging activity. So during gaming, there's break time. So what can brand actually do for the audience? So they can come to the booth, they can do some engaging activity, they can win some gift, they would be happy. And then we also, I think creating the content, creating the engaging activity is very good. And it's not just keeping the booth out there, like what you mentioned, it's very boring. And at the end of the day, the sponsor gonna come in and say, what I'm sponsoring is not really effective. They even actually not making any sale, not making any awareness back. So for us as actually the agency who actually working with both sponsor and the tournament organizer, we should be the one who actually working with the client closely and educate them on what kind of activity, what kind of actually engaging content that they can do at their booth to attracting audience offline, and they also can actually spread it out online. So at the end of the event, they get both data on what they get during the offline event. They also can go check on the online on what is the engagement, what is the mention, what is the tag that they get. Then be easier to attract them for the next event. Yeah.
Okay, additional thing? No? Okay, all good. Okay, so it is very important for organizer to be able to give input, right, to the sponsors. So the sponsor can cater to the audience. So in the end, they will be happy because they get lots of traction, right? Otherwise, it's going to be hard for them to define because most of the brands, they don't really understand esports. They probably don't play games. So it is very important to give them insights, right? Okay, so when we're talking about audience, like right now, I've seen lots of esports event that has a bit of taste of pop culture music, right? Very exciting. So in the context of the audience itself, what do you see for esports event? Like how can you as an organizer ensure that you deliver compelling and immersive experience that resonate with the audience? Maybe Danny? Because you haven't answered the previous one. Okay.
Sure. So when we talk about creating an experience through esports, internally when we talk about that, it's no longer just narrowly defined to the competition part. I mean, of course, there's part of it. Like you want to see the best of the best play. You want to root for your team. Of course, that's a crucial component of going to an esports tournament. But at the same time, with the evolution of audience that we actually talked briefly about it off stage as well. Like over the past couple of years, what we've observed and experienced in China is that we've witnessed esports going from a more narrowly defined niche phenomena to now part of the mainstream culture, part of the pop culture. We are seeing a much wider audience base for all of our tournaments. I just came back from now it's the 8th year of Honor of Kings Pro League, KPL. Outside of China, it's known as Arena Valor. And it surprised me even this year. I was on site and I realized at one moment that I was hearing a lot of shrieks and a lot of excitement from the audience. And I looked out and it was 80 to 90% of the offline attendance were female audiences. Now that's a number, that's a percentage that I had not anticipated before. But of course, if you look at the online viewership, it's about 50-50, male and female, but the offline experience is very much female-led. And that means we're seeing audiences that are a lot more social, a lot more vocal about their experiences. We're seeing contents created towards that audiences. So I think that's baked into how we design the experiences, how we design the tournaments that we create. So of course, we talked about, of course there is the competition side, but there's got to be the other parts of the experience as well. because we're competing with everything else. We're competing with clubs. We're competing with traditional sports. We're competing with time spent at home watching TikTok on my cell phone. Like, why do I bother getting out to an experience? We're competing with music festivals, which means that the experience of going to an esports experiences, it has to be more comprehensive, not just the competition itself, but also like the music festival, like hanging out with your friends, like a light show, like an AR experience. So it needs to be more comprehensive. So that's the kind of pressure that we feel as an esports organizer from our audiences, because their tastes are rising, the demographics is changing, and they're demanding better and better experiences. And that's part of the motivation for us to continuously improve on what we can offer to them as well.
Okay, interesting. You want to add more?
Yeah, just one comment. I think to summarize what you said, Danny, a really good example of what we see in Germany at the moment is Gamescom, one of the biggest gaming conferences. I mean, it's insane. It's like 4 or 5 days, 300,000 people just coming for gaming content, but there's also esports events. Brands are there, they're presenting themselves. And we're not talking about small brands. There's Porsche, there's Toyota, and they're doing their stuff. And I think that's actually what it's worth to travel for, right? You are with your community, you meet new people, and you maybe just have seen them online. But this is really a place where you can be yourself and where value is actually created through everything: esports, gaming, sponsors, people, and so on.
To make the travel worth, right?
Yep.
All the way to Germany to see.
You're all welcome.
Okay, so Irli, you are really into music, right?
Yep.
Recently, you created like a music event, but not esports.
Yep.
So how do you combine those two?
Yeah, okay. So what I learned from that esports thing is community that are into esports are not only just come from one part of the community, right? But most of them are connected through esports. With that also, music is also the easiest way to interact with the audiences. So like last week, just exactly last week, I tried to create this like mix of esports and music events. It's a very small one. Initially, I target only like 300 people that are to come. It only cost me like $500. And then at the end of the day, there is like 3,000 people coming to the venue for the whole days. I was surprised. And then what I learned from that events is usually we work and creating the events for the brands. As organizers, that's what you usually do, right? We want to create the events that are suitable and selling the product for the brands. But what I learned on creating the kind of events that are having that much freedom to work with the specific communities is like that event itself is becoming like a place together for different communities. For example, on that specific music events, I targeted more into like people that are loving Japanese culture. So I bring the esports part is Tekken and fighting games. It's only like 16 people that are registering, but there's 400 people watching. There's no pro players, there's no big teams and stuff. And for the communities, I invite different part of the groups, like people that love Tekkens, that love Japanese, that love cosplayers, that love everything else, and make that event as a place together for different communities and mingle and know each other. So we connect, we unite them through esports and also the music, and it works. So I think for the next year in Indonesia especially, that's the kind of direction that we are going heading into. Because as an organizer, I also believe that E on esports stands for entertainment. So we cannot separate that part. Yeah.
All right, additional comments? No? All good? Okay, so yeah, it is very important to, connect everyone all together, not only, through esports, but through comprehensive experience through the audiences, right? Because there's one thing that I learned about esports, like most of the esports fans only supporting their favorite esports team, right? So when their esports team lose, they are going home. And then where is my audience, right? As an event organizer, we are gonna be like, oh my God, the team who has most fans already going back home. So where is my audience? So that's like the nightmare, right? So that's why I think by having those, comprehensive, immersive experience, music, pop culture, whatever it is gonna create more excitement. So those fans who's sad because their team, lost, but they can stay to watch their, let's say, their favorite musician, right? Or maybe to see another exciting thing, other entertainment. So awesome, yeah. So next question. So Danny, you already mentioned about female presence in the tournament, right? So esports itself, it is a male-dominant industry, and it is not a secret that most of the esports fans are male. And we are talking about Southeast Asia, maybe not China. So, right? In Southeast Asia, it's mostly male, right? So, how does the presence of female participants and fans in esports contribute to increasing revenue, considering their higher tendency to make purchasing decision, right? We women love to shop so much. And Timo was like, yes. Okay, and then have you guys made any initiative to attract and engage female consumers in the esports industry? And how have they positively impacted your organization's revenue? Maybe someone wants to answer this? Danny?
I can answer that. I get asked this question a lot, right? Because whenever I come to events like this, great organization, by the way, whenever I come to events like this, I keep telling people, look, you guys have to come to China. You have to experience one of the tournaments that we're throwing there. Because whenever I tell people, hey, it used to be 70%, now it's like 80, 90% of the audiences coming to our tournaments are female. People look at me like I'm an idiot. Like, no, that can't be true. But seriously, like esports is part of the pop culture. That means it appears to not just in our mind, the traditional hardcore, like, male gamers. No, it's not that anymore. It's a much wider audience. And I cannot be happier as a business owner in this space. Because what that means exactly is what you were saying, is that it creates more space for the business models to expand. And when we look at female audiences and female fans in any industry, they are social, they are vocal, and we love to shop, love to spend. We love to share our passion both with our community, share the experiences, and we want to buy product. And all of these means attractive demographics for any business to tap into. So if you're talking to sponsors, and it's a very different conversation when you say, okay, I have something, a product, a content that will attract guys from age 12 to 39. Versus you have a conversation, say, I have something that appeals to the wider demographic from age 12 to 39. It's a very different conversation. You attract very different groups of brands that want to work with you. And then it's the same conversation that will happen when you talk to talent and KOLs and all the different commercializations and all the e-commerce items that you talk to. So even just from a purely business perspective, just from a purely pragmatic view, female fans are extremely important to the health and sustainability of this industry. And I'm not saying that we should create things that are not authentic. I'm not saying we should all paint the room pink and assuming that will attract female audiences. It doesn't work that way. And I'm gonna say something that I've been repeatedly saying in almost every single event that I've been to, because I've been asked the second part of the question a lot, which is how do you cater to female audiences? How do you create products and content and experiences for female fans? And my answer has always been, you don't. Why? Why you separate the male gamers from the female gamers? They should just be a group of gamers that should just be part of the community. Why do you say I have to separate out and create this experience for male audiences, that experience for female gamers? It doesn't work that way. The path that we've taken, the way that we've tackled it, the way that I would, the path that I would recommend, because I know there are a lot of people who are working in the gaming and esports industry here, is to hire more women. It's as simple as that. Hire more women as your content producers. Hire more women as your tournament organizers. Hire more women as your producers of the event. Now, a little plug for the Olympic Esports Week that's happening right now in Singapore, opening in a couple of days. We have three core tournament producers here from the VSPO team working on that. And one of the core lead, Hannah, is an amazing female director. If you look at the production crew at VSPO, almost 50% of our producers are female. Now, you don't go to those female producers and say, okay, can you create a female experience? No, you just say, can you create a great experience? And naturally, by plugging in how they feel, how they experience different contents and different tournaments, they create something that appeals to everybody. So like, yeah, hire more women is what I want to say. Thank you.
Okay, guys, you guys listen. Okay, so but it is actually very true. Like I always believe that inclusivity is very important in every industry, no matter what industry is. Especially, you know, like right now we know that esports is still a male dominant, but if we want to be more sustainable in the future, I think inclusivity is the key. I always believe in that. Yeah. Okay, so when we're talking about that, like, do you guys like in Southeast Asia, you know, have experience in this? Because in Southeast Asia, most of the fans is definitely still male, right? So what's your take on this?
Actually, for me, the input I would say actually for female audience is growing. It's in esports, it's really growing. At recent event I'm in Cambodia, we could see like 40% is females coming for the offline event. And I even have a friend with one of the Cambodian fans. She managed to come for the event for the whole 8 days. And her mission is to go take photo with all the pro players. She took all her photo selfie with all the 12 teams. And I can see that there's a trend that female younger audience actually follow pro player like an idol. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They follow them, they follow the handsome, they follow the strong player. They do follow them and they see them as an idol. We even, like with Mark, his team called Team Flash, there's a 2 member which is quite handsome and we invite them for the fashion event on the same day. While they walk from the venue to the fashion shop, the crowd is cheering all the way and it's after they losing the game. So it's not about like you're losing the game, your fan don't care about you, but it's very different. And a lot of female audience know them, ask them for photos and all. So I think it's actually gonna be growing. The female audience gonna be growing, and of course they're the actually spender. So in terms of merchandise, in terms of what we actually can cater to, we just need to make sure that what we actually actually have for both audiences. It's not just like really you producing a merchandise just for male, but something that actually unisex they can all use. So female fan will be start spending more money, and I believe there will be more handsome player coming in where they actually can follow and strong player.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, so we already got the data, you know, like 40% from Cambodia and then 80-90%, right? So when we're talking about data and analytics, it is very important right now. Like it's very crucial and become increasingly important in the esports industry. That's why Timo is here. Okay, so how can organizers leverage the data insights to make informed decisions, improve event planning, and enhance the overall experience for both fans and also sponsors? Are there any specific metrics or KPI that organizers should focus on to measure the success and also the impact of their events? I think your answer is going to be very crucial.
Try my best. And then I'm also curious to hear what data is needed or you provide to your partners. I mean, in the end, it depends who you want to provide with data. But I think the good thing is, whereas esports happening, it's on digital platforms and there's good access actually to it. It's not like that it's broadcasted on TV where viewership numbers are available maybe 5-6 weeks after an event. So I think depends who is getting the data. You definitely need to provide partners with the reporting, and this can go from viewership numbers, this can go from exposure time, how long they were visible, what was happening on social media, what was the social media buzz, how many people have talked about all of that. And in the end, I think it also depends on the brand side, like what kind of metrics they try to achieve, they try to improve through an event, because in the end I see esports organizers as a platform, so they're partnering with esports organizers to achieve something. This can be exposure, this can be awareness, this can be they want that the community recommends their brand to someone. And there are ways to evaluate all of that. I think another thing what we realized is what's getting more and more important, it is important to showcase the value, what is an event bringing to a city, right? I think you guys all have the challenge to which city you go, why do you go there, and what is the benefit for a city. So since years, I think the Volleyball Federation, the Basketball Federation is trying to understand how much value a world championship is bringing to a city. And we are copying that actually now to esports, where we work with rights holders like the ESL, Riot, Tencent, and so on. And they want to understand if there's a chance from our side to help them evaluate the value of an event. And there's a lot of insights they could provide, but it's super helpful, I think, for the entire industry that this data is now also available around esports. But feel free to add anything.
Oh, the data is now available.
It is available. I mean, obviously we have to make money. We need to sell that. This is our daily business. But on client requests, we can do this kind of analysis. And again, it's getting more and more important because what Danny just said is also a true point. There's big competition out there. There's Netflix, and there's a lot of free time. You can go to soccer games. You can go to basketball games. So you need to find the right way how to attract the people, right?
Okay, interesting. Yeah, maybe organizers later, you're gonna be interesting to check on the website. Nielsen Esports, everyone. Okay, so last question because the time is ticking. So, okay, now we often talk about esports entertainment, right? Esports entertainment, and then we are now quite familiar with the term of esports tourism, like you mentioned, right? People go somewhere, you know, and then esports can also be one way to promote like a city or a country or a, you know, tourism destination as well, right? So we've seen you know, Brawl Stars in Disneyland, right? And then we've seen League of Legends in NBA, and there was like a huge international tournament as well in Bali by the sea. You know, imagine like watching Dota team playing like when you're chilling on the beach, you know, that's happening like everywhere in the part of the world, right? So looking into the future, if we're like playing like the imagination, if you guys have like unlimited money, okay, I wanna know like from each one of you, where is the destination that you're gonna choose in order to make like amazing esports event that, you know, no one will ever forget? From Danny? Well, unlimited money. Choose your destination.
Well, you really know how to push me. You're like, unlimited money for a CFO, great. So if we had unlimited resources, where on earth do we want to create an experience for our fans? Okay, so in my head, have you guys read Harry Potter? Have you guys read Harry Potter before?
Yeah, sure.
So you're familiar with the concept of the platform 9 3/4.
Yep. Yeah.
So it's a portal that the minute you step in, you're transported. For those of you who unfortunately have not read Harry Potter before, it's a portal that the minute you step in, you step into. You step away from the Mogus, the normal world, and you go into the magical world. So if, for example, we had unlimited capital and resources, the idea for us would be not just not just building one single destination, but to build and plant several, multiple, limitless platform 9 3/4 around the world. The idea would be that wherever you are in the world, in any city, hopefully, there is a spot for you, a portal, a VSPO portal, or whatever you call it, that the minute you step into the space, you are immediately taken into the esports experience. You are connected with the fellow gamers that you're playing with. You are connected with the fellow content creators who are broadcasting, and you can immediately start streaming from that space. You're connected with your team members who might live like thousands of miles away, and then you start getting on the same server. You have the same kind of ping rate, and then you start competing with each other at a professional level. And the minute you step into, or anyone that steps into any of the 9 3/4 portals around the world, you can connect those contents and connect those players, and you can start producing tournaments. You can put them on against each other, regardless of time zone, regardless where they are in that moment. Instead of bringing people together using airplanes, you actually just portal them together and you create a tournament and experience. And so Yeah, so off the top of my head.
Cool. Okay, Irli, how about you?
That's pretty amazing answer, actually. Yeah, I'm about to say Indonesians, but when he said that, I changed my mind. Yeah.
Oh no,
But
why?
because her ideas is pretty much true. I mean, it's implementable for the next 3 or 4 years. Thanks to the technology. Imagine if you have all like 5, 6, 8 cities all around the world connected through 5Gs, and let's say Apple next year having this the glasses things, right? Maybe in like 2, 3 years, every single person that are coming to the events can experience something what happens in Barcelona and what happens in Berlin, what happened in Jakarta and stuff like that. Thanks to the advance of the technology at that time, and then seeing this kind of thing already being done on the other part of the entertainment industry, especially for the music industry. If you follow like Tomorrowland, they already have this kind of events happening, right? They are having it in Belgium, but then they are at the same time they have it in the Korea as well. They have it in Japan as well. They have it in the US as well, and they stream. Right now, the possibilities is only just stream there. But imagine if we can create like a unity, yeah, like the same experience all around the world through one like global scale events. And they can just like flip to channel 1. They can watch Counter Strike. Channel 2, they can watch League of Legends. Sorry, and some of that. So yeah, I think that's a pretty damn good ideas. Yeah.
Okay, Bobo. Unlimited resources, unlimited money. Where? Pick your place.
I was into the answer so much, so I dropped my stuff again. So. Yeah, I do agree with them. And to me, just at in what I imagine, there's something that it would be awesome also if we can doing the event maybe in a forest where we actually hearing a waterfalls, hearing wind, hearing all the bird chirping and all, something that a bit different of atmosphere, something like that. It's just like something popping in my mind, but of course something that actually they mentioned pop up first and then we can following it. Yeah.
All right, awesome. Timo, how about you?
I was just thinking about which city, which country I like, but I think I would take the money and give it to these experts so they can even do more crazy stuff.
Anytime for
That's all right. That's what I would do.
Okay. As for me, I think I would choose to have like a underwater tournament. Yeah, I think that's gonna be awesome, right? Wow. Okay. So this is the end of the session, but I'm gonna give opportunity, kinda, right? Okay, because it's the last panel, right? So yeah, I got a little bit extra time to the floor to ask whatever question that you want about the esports. Okay, can I see your hands up in the air? Anyone? Okay, I see someone at the back.
Hello. Yep. Just to bring it back to reality with venues. So, putting on any sort of event is quite difficult to find the right space, find the right venue. In your different markets, do you believe you've got the right venues in those spaces? And if not, what are you missing?
What are you missing, like in the venue?
Yeah, do you have like the right size arena? Do you have the right, type of space? It's quite difficult to put on the right event for the right people to come.
Oh, okay. So how do you decide like the right space, the right venue to make sure like the people will, is available?
Okay. Maybe I can answer that for the Indonesian market. Actually, for the esports stadium, we haven't got it yet. Usually when we talk about esports, we usually use like arena for like a basketball arena. Sometimes it's like a volleyball or maybe stuff like that. But most of the venue are not designed for esports, where we have where we will put all the broadcasting and all the LEDs and stuff like that. So yeah, it's happening. The talk is already happening there to create an esports stadium. But I think they have some in China, right? They have some in China. I went to China once. I went to watch the League of Legends once, and I think it's pretty sophisticated what you have there. And it's already like ready to use. But the main problem for us is like the size for the esports events to use that kind of stadium. Is it going to be enough or not? For example, in Indonesia, like this year we have the M4 last year we have the M4, the Mobile Legends.
This year.
This year.
Early this year.
This year. The grand final for the Mobile Legends that are happening like 7 days. For the 7 days, they ran a big halls, like 3 halls, and I think there are like 80,000 people coming, like 15,000 each single day. But that's only one event for M4 only. Maybe in Indonesia, Mobile Legends are the biggest right now. So M4 and MPL is the biggest one. But the question is to fill it for the whole year. That's a big question mark that we are trying to push as organizers. Yeah.
Okay, additional.
Maybe I can add some of our experiences from China. So, the way that we've experienced it, the way we've built it, there are actually in my mind, there are 2 types of experiences that we're catering for. One is the grand final. So like what you're saying, we'd overtake Mercedes-Benz Arena, we overtake traditional sports arena, 10,000, 20,000 seaters, and then that's for like a couple of days of event. That's sporadic throughout the year. That's one type of events. The second one are like the more consistent, the weekly tournaments, the playoffs, the 4 days a week, and people come back routinely. So when we talk about esports venues, within VSPO, within China, we are focused on the first, not the grand finals, but like the weekly tournaments. So what we've seen over the past couple of years is that we've been able to sustain and support arenas in center locations in core cities that are specifically tailored to the playoffs, we call it the seasons, the different seasons of different game titles. These don't need to be huge arenas. They don't need to be 10,000, 20,000 seaters. Rather, they are more like 1,000 seaters or like 800 seats. And we pack it within a little gaming and esports complex. So you have food, you have entertainment, you have music, you go there, you can spend a whole day there, you go there after school night, you go there after you get off of work, and you go there, you catch a game, and you stay there, and you linger around, that type of experience. I would say that with the gender shift, with the demographic shift and everything, it takes time for that concept to play out. So over the past couple of years, we started with the initial concept, and then I think in the recent couple of years, we've seen that concept coming into more mature stages. And what do we need? And then that's what we have. And where do we want to go from there? Is we want to have more comprehensive experiences packed into those locations, and we want to have more of those regular season arenas in different cities in core parts of China and around the world. I mean, it sounds like in different markets, it's different calendars and different schedules. So we probably have not seen those regular season arenas yet. But the idea is, or the hope is, that one day we have that in different cities of the world, and we can connect them all together. And then there you go, platform 9¾
Yeah, okay, I hope it answered your question. And it's also the last of the question as well. Last of our session, and thank you so much for all the panelists as well, and thank you so much Esports Insider for giving us all opportunities, and see you at another time. Thank you.